Nigeria is a very, very deep country. Very, very deep country. Very, very rich country. Very, very complicated country. Nigerians, very, very smart thinkers. Nigerians, you don't understand. You don't understand. Anything you see on newspaper, anything you see on social media, be very careful. Whatever you see people say on television, it's only the surface. The reality is very, very deep. I want to talk about the OKUOMA, Okoloba crisis, the Dutch disease, and the killing of soldiers and the subsequent reprisals. Listen and listen well. There is something called the Dutch disease. It is not a physical illness. They don't teach it in medical school. The Dutch disease is a socio-economic stroke political disease that plagues a nation that has mineral resources. When a nation has mineral resources or materials that can be easily exploited, explored, and exported, people leave the normal economic processes that might delay. They now want to go for the quick money. Anywhere you have had crises in Africa, in other third world nations, it is because of natural resources. In Afghanistan, the Russians invaded. They were subsequently driven out. The Taliban came in. They were driven out. Americans came in. They left. All the crisis in Afghanistan or whatever is because of the mineral deposits in that country. There's so much in that country. The only place in the world that can outcompete that country is Alaska, that has so many reserves. And then the opium trade, from where heroin is gotten. That is the reason there is crisis in Afghanistan or Afghanistan. So far, you have A and you have Stan. Take Liberia, take Sierra Leone. It was diamond, in Sierra Leone, iron ore, in Liberia, gold, diamond, the Firestone rubber factory. Firestone is the name of a family. They came to Liberia, planted rubber, but Liberia does not produce eraser or tube or bicycle tire. Take the crisis in Congo. It's over mineral resources. Take the crisis in Niger, Chad, all these countries in northern part of West Africa. It's over uranium and other mineral resources that France and other European countries want. And the Russians also want to have a piece of the pie. Take the crisis in South Sudan. It's over oil. I've been to South Sudan. I've been to Juba. Take the crisis in Zamfara State. It's gold. The crisis in many of these states is mineral resources. Even the Boko Haram, fishing rights, and other mineral resources. I never knew of californium until very recently. very expensive mineral, Congo cobalt. Anywhere you have mineral resources. The crisis in the Niger Delta from OD to the present OKUOMA crisis is over oil. Simple reason why reasonable people cannot rule this country. The criminal elites that practice elite capture have dug their fingers deep into the oil mess and the theft of oil, theft and refinement of our petroleum product to diesel and other fuels. The problem in OKUOMA, between OKUOMA and Okoloba, there is nothing really there apart from oil. It's the control of the bunkering and the illegal refinery of crude oil that is the genesis of whether you are the owner of the land or you are not the owner of the land. In Nigeria, if you have settled in a place for more than 50 years, even if you're a customary tenant, no person can tell you to park. They know these laws. Also in this country, there's a law called the law of peaceful slumber. If somebody lives in your territory, your property, for 12 years and you do not demand rent from him and you do not expel him, he becomes a rightful owner of that property by negligence, the law of peaceful slumber. You will be told to continue with your sleep. So the crisis between Okoloba and OKUOMA, I happen to have met the President General of Okoloba when I took food to them during the flood crisis, the flood of the Niger Delta. The leadership in those areas and the militants in those areas is the oil trade. It is the theft of oil. It is the refinement. And so, the truth is that every person that is supposed to prevent that have their fingers in it. Government officials, military personnel, naval personnel, president generals, militants, they have their fingers stained with the black gold. And so, you have militant leaders all over the place that control this trade. And because those people are well armed, and because governors will need them for elections, in Delta State, I call the votes from the riverine area Mami Water votes. They will allow all the votes in the uplands to be counted. Then the votes from the riverine areas will come. And when the votes come, you can't dispute them because you can't send agents to the riverine area, party agents to the riverine areas to go and validate votes. If they throw you into the water, you are gone. And those places are very far from land. So the Dutch disease creates violence where there is crave and rush for mineral resources. Excuse me, for natural resources. And so, what happened in Okoloba, if there was delayed government response, somebody was afraid of the militants. Some of these militants have protection from as far as the presidency. If not, why would somebody carry grenade launchers, carry rifles, and be shouting Asawana and be moving, and then the next time you see him is with the president? Why? Why? It is the Dutch disease. It's a fight for the minerals of and the natural resources of our land. It will be very difficult to control until Peter Obi talked about oil theft and the involvement of people very high up. We did not start seeing pipelines that had been constructed over the years. They know they are there. They know they are there. Most of them benefit from it. Let me tell you about this oil theft. There are companies that market petroleum products that have ships in the high seas. They will steal crude from the Niger Delta, refine them in their ships in the high seas. They have modular refineries in ships. They will refine these products in the high seas, load them into other ships, bring them in as if they imported them from Europe or from wherever, and they will be paid subsidy, and then they will sell very expensively to us. Listen, check somebody's income, how he got it. Don't envy any person spraying money anyhow. Every African leader you see sitting tight, it is because of the resources they are stealing from the land. And the Western media is ready to throw their face away because it benefits their nations. The war in Africa, the crisis in Africa, and the burning of OKUOMA is as a result, is a symptom of the Dutch disease. Treat the Dutch disease and there will be peace. I remain your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. Send me a message on +234 7052 136763 to join my WhatsApp mentorship group and to participate in the lecture that I will give on the 1st of April on thriving in difficult times. God bless you. Google Dutch disease before you make any comment here. God bless you.